Hello, Fredak here. Fred ACC, all one word. Alrighty, it is Saturday, April the 27th. No, it's Saturday, April the 26th. I'm in the future. Fredak here. I want to thank you all for being here. Fred ACC, all one word. Alrighty, so today's title is XRP. It is free. Yes, the Fredak postings are free. I try to bring things your way that the other talking heads are not going to share with you, but most of you who have subscribed, you are aware of that. Okay, we scribbled down a small little bit of notes here. Okay, so it is Saturday, April the 26th. It's about 6:37 p.m. East Coast time. XRP is at about $2.20. I personally think it's on the verge of a huge breakout. Let's cover a couple of quick things. First up, the scammers. You gotta watch out for those scammers. They're out there in massive droves. Everybody's trying to steal from you. Yes, those lousy scammers. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Okay, so hello, in my opinion, no one seems to get it. With XRP, the big thing is stability. They're going to need stability for whatever, XRP, XYZ, whatever is going to become the new currency of the world. More than likely, I think something is going to be that new reserve currency of the world. I also think that it's very strongly believe it's going to be XRP. There are so many different floating variables out there that could lead us to XRP explosion. Post-generational wealth back in October, 53 cents. Had many opportunities to get on board. Did you? I don't know. I hope you did. I know I'm on board. I'm going to make the monies. Not making a dime for any of these postings. I'm out here for you guys to have some multi-millionaires join me. Yes, that is correct. So, when it comes to stability, and I have explained this on some other postings, a currency is going to have to be stable in order for most businesses to be involved with it. Who's in a better position to stabilize whatever the cryptocurrency or whatever the new revolutionary currency, global currency is? The USA. That's who. But don't you think that before that they stabilize anything, they're going to want to get their hands in on it and capitalize on it as much as they can? Of course, that's what they're supposed to do. Now, if the Ripple company was somewhat wise, they would think about bringing on partners. As an example, I think I've mentioned this in the past. Let's just say there's 11 Michael Jordan mint condition rookie basketball cards, and they're worth $100,000 each, and I own all 11 of them. Well, I go on some show and I take one of the 11 and I take a cigarette lighter and I burn the whole thing. Now there's only 10 of them. I burn another one. Now there's only 9 of them in existence. Well, then, as there's now only 9 and then only 8, I do another, burn another one. The 8 of them, they're worth $250,000 each. I'm increasing the value of the remainder ones that I have. So before the U.S. government or anybody stabilizes any type of a currency, they're going to want to position themselves in on it. That would make the most sense. C-E-N-T-S and S-E-N-S-E. Sense. Okay. Back to Ripple. It would be in their best interest to bring in partners and say, we want to give 22 billion of these to the United States government. Wonderful. Or they could break them up and give 6 billion to some of the big industrialized nations of the world. China, US, some of Germany. Spread it all around. Now you're bringing on all these parties. They all have incentives to want to see you succeed. Not a bad idea. Still, I think it's in the U.S.'s best interest to get themselves out of a very dire situation, which is monetize this new world currency. That's probably where they're going to go. And I posted this maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. United States financial crisis. Anybody that wants to check it out? How prescient will that be if it ever comes to that? And if XRP becomes that currency, you're not looking at $2.20. There's no way. ETFs are coming. There is an XXRP. It's a 2x leverage. And it moves a lot. Trades on the stock exchange. ETF. Bid, offer, you get best price. You're not getting squeezed like a lot of these off-site exchanges, as I've alluded to some of them in the past. But the important thing is going to be some stability behind whatever becomes the new global currency, in my opinion. Only in my opinion. Still, when you see XRP game change, that's when game change, that means things are happening. And I've got some life lessons to post, stuff about interest rates. It's time for me to start expanding you guys' knowledge of what's going on. Interest rates, bonds, understanding inflation. I'd like to get something posted about the incompetence and laziness of the typical employee of the world. We'll get to that. But one of the more important things of this whole posting is that it is free. This is something that's really critical. And I said I'm not going to post any more of these shorts, but I put one out there. XRP jerk. Hopefully some people will spot it, stop on in and take a look. Any comments you might have, I do enjoy them. Always open to hearing people's different opinions, whether it's my shirt, my hair, whatever it might be. So, this is why we posted the XRP jerk. All the talking heads. My gut feeling is that in a psychological way, there's the possibility that all this blobble, 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 breaking news, you see this over and over and over. Well, guess what? You're not just going to buy $1,500 worth of XRP and become a multi-millionaire. It doesn't work that way. You got to kind of ride the waves up and down, gut wrenching. You got to have a game plan and be in it thick and thin. That's usually how it works. Look at most of the people who are extremely wealthy. They didn't just create the Post-it and become like mega wealthy. It doesn't work that way. My concern is that all the people who are getting caught by these phrases on YouTube, breaking news, XRP 10,000, XRP 10 million, XRP 10 billion, you're going to get worn down. They're going to wear you down. You watch all that stuff, you watch Fredak, like I've said many, many times. I try to bring ideas swirling around in my head over to you guys. Fine. Try to transpose things over into your heads that are in my head. But think about it. I think there is a possibility that individuals are going to get worn down by watching too many clips, too much time going by. Think about it. This is probably on a 3, 4, 5-year plan to mega wealth. It's going to start to speed up. I expect it to start to snowball with the advent of technology, how things do move along. But I am extremely concerned about the individuals out there giving up their stuff. Just throw in the towel. They wear you out. You watch all this different hype of this, the ISO 2020, this and that, yada, 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 yada. The bottom line is, what is it at? That's where it's at. It's at $2.20. It's holding there pretty good. But I still see the potential for the psychological war that's going on. So watching too many talking heads and getting worn down and worn out might turn you into a seller on a wave up. And that's okay. Because if you're making a good chunk of money, but how do you look over your shoulder and say, oh my gosh, I own that thing. If I would have held on to a small amount of it, I would be just wealthy. That's the important thing. So I hope some people take a peek at this. Going to try to have some numerous postings in the very near future about inflation, about the economy. Things are souring very quickly. I've spoken about this. I put a posting out there from one of the local shopping malls. The Macy's went down at that mall. The place is destitute. There's more people working there than there are people spending money. We don't have any money. Things are imploding. Time to hunker down, batten down the hatches, get smart, use your smarts. That's what it's all about. Be careful out there. Too many, I can save you this and on that. This is when the sharks come a-swimming. So my concern, once again, like I say, is that people watch too many talking heads and the potential for the psychological wear down. So don't let that happen to you. When you see me post XRP game change, that's the one you want to see, because that means it's game on. Things are happening. There are so many upside potential things that can go our way with this XRP. I just can't wait. I don't mind waiting. I've waited for 2 years. I'll wait a little longer. We're going to start reeling them in. Bring them on in. Bring it on in, boys. Another thing to think about also is that, let's just say XRP does start to become, or whatever currency, XYZ becomes the go-to thing, XYZ. At a certain point, people with traditional wealth have to start to think about making a move. If I've amassed a $3 million nest egg, and I can buy XYZ for $6 each of US currency, or $10 per of German marks, or 50 or 500 Brazilian reals to buy 100 of XYZs. The longer that I wait, the more the price rises, I'm getting devalued. At a certain point, I gotta step in and say, look, I cannot just wait. I've got to convert like 15, 18, 20% of my net wealth into that thing that's becoming the new global currency of the world. Think about that. Alrighty, I try to keep it short and sweet, not to bend your ear too much. Gonna have numerous postings in the next few days. Take a peek. Subscribe, hit the like, smash the likes, do whatever you gotta do, leave comments, really enjoy them. The comments are great, people are great. May all your days be winning ones, and of course, hopefully I said this in the beginning, I thank you all for being here. And yes, this is my May the Horse Be With You. My May the Horse Be With You shirt. Harvey Pack, back in the day. Kentucky Derby, next weekend. May all your days be winning ones.